I logged in and nothing happened. This video is for the person who's been working hard, who's been grinding. Maybe it's on an online business. Maybe it's trying to make more friends and become more like socially not retarded. You're trying to level up your physique, your fitness, whatever. This is for you. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you examples of myself, but also examples of what it is that is going to happen to you on this improvement journey, and also how you can progress and how to understand where you are. So that's my promise to you. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So some of my biggest lock-in seasons, I have 7 here, and currently I'm in this season 3. But we will go there last. So first, my self-improvement started with playing volleyball. Essentially, I was very, very depressed during COVID time. I wanted to kill myself. I was gooning like 80 times a day, all of the shits that everybody online always tells you. And the thing that really inspired me was this show called Haikyuu. And it was basically an anime about volleyball. And it was this really short guy who wanted to be one of the best players in Japan or whatever. And he was super inspired because he saw another short guy playing volleyball at a very, very high level. Watching that show inspired the shit out of me. So that made me play volleyball for the next 2 years from 12 to 14. And everything in my life was centered around volleyball. All of the good habits that I made, all of the exercise and physical training and mental preparation, all of that had been because of volleyball. So I locked in hard during that period, and I actually got very, very good at it. I progressed a ton in volleyball. In those 2 years, I went from being on a girls' team, worst player, to playing or competing at a national level in 2 years, which is pretty nice. I had one of the best serves in the country, and I can confidently say that. So that's very, very, very nice. Next, I would call this my self-improvement season 1. And the priority of this time was mental health and fitness. So I was doing tons of journaling, tons of meditation, tons of exercise. I was waking up 5 a.m., training before school, coming home, training again. Like, my goal during this time was fitness, and I had quit volleyball around the middle-ish of this season, and I had started focusing mostly on fitness, and I got into a bit of boxing and other combat sports specific, but that wasn't like a huge aspect until we get to the 4th bullet point, which was wrestling. I'm telling you all of this for a reason, because I want you to understand the pattern. During this season, my mental health and my fitness went up a ton. From 8th to 9th grade, I had gained like 10-ish pounds. Well, maybe a little less, but I had lost a ton of fat, got a lot stronger. Like, I looked visually much bigger going into my freshman year of high school. So during this season, I got way better at volleyball. And also, like, my physical fitness went up, my mental health, all that. But the main priority was volleyball. This was my improvement. Here, it was mental health and fitness that went up. So this is what progressed. Those were the 2 main things. That's all I really cared about. So that's all I really did. I had no other purpose during this time. Going into self-improvement season 2, I would call this purely my social period. I didn't fall off. I kept getting stronger. I kept getting in better shape. I was wrestling during this time. Like, I was in awesome shape, like cardio-wise, and I was very, very strong. But that wasn't like the goal of that period. The goal of the period was purely to make people like me and to be able to talk to people and to be able to get what I wanted. During this time, I was actually very like lustful, and I was doing like tons of sins, like with different girls, or here we'll call this Nancy. I didn't date a Nancy, I don't think, but I was like trying to attract girls, and I was trying to be like super charismatic and learn how to flirt and all of those things. And I actually got quite good at it, even though I would say that I wouldn't go down that same route today. But I am thankful that I did it, because now I'm able to flirt with my current girlfriend, and I'd be able to do that anyway, but I didn't have to spend so much time like preparing, I guess. So it'd be how it be. The main thing I gained from this period was I got really, really good with people, and I gained tons of people who knew me, my friends. I became one of the most popular people in my school very, very, very quickly. In a year, I knew basically everybody as a freshman. As a sophomore, I kind of was more focused on like wrestling, or I didn't wrestle sophomore year. I was more focused on like my girlfriend and kind of like being by myself. I was in more of a lock-in period of like, oh, I'm going to focus on business. And obviously that's not a main section here because I was very inconsistent with it. Here, the main thing I progressed in was socializing. I got very, very good with people specifically. Then I started wrestling. My social standing like stayed, like I was still very good with people. I still communicated with people. Well, my fitness went up a ton, especially cardio wise, because we're fucking training 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, running. Like, I think that was the longest run I've ever done. I did like 12 miles in about an hour and 20. Like, I was in shape 100,000%. Like, I was in shape. But during this period, I got better at wrestling. So during the volleyball period, I progressed the most in volleyball. During the mental health and fitness period, I progressed the most in mental health and fitness. Socializing, wrestling. Then I did calisthenics. During this time is actually when I made my first money online because I had gotten to calisthenics. I got really good at weighted pull-ups, doing like well over 100 pounds on weighted dips. I was doing handstand push-ups and weighted muscle-ups, and I was doing like tons of cool shit. And I got really good at calisthenics. Then this transitioned into a money-making period where I was like, okay, I'm good at this thing now. Like, I have all these other accolades that I can talk about, but I want to talk about calisthenics. I want to teach people how to get handstand push-ups and muscle-ups and do front lever pull-ups and planche holds like I was doing. I wasn't doing like full planches. I was doing straddle planches, but still like very, very difficult to achieve stuff, right? Made my first money online. I was waking up 3 a.m. every morning. My health went bad. Everything sucked. This is like the classic like lock-in period that you'll hear like online influencers talk about, where they're like, oh yeah, sleep 2 hours, caffeine, like Adderall, whatever the fuck. This was that. I did a huge money-making period where I made the most money I've made in my entire life. So this is where I progress the most. Now I'm in season 3, where my main goals and the things that I've been progressing in the most is God and purpose and all of these things. My fitness isn't as good as it was during this era. Like, I can't do the same level of handstand push-ups and all the other shits, but I'm focused on other things. Part of my purpose is like, I'm going to go into the Marine Corps. I'm going to join the Marines and I'm going to do all this stuff. And my main focus is God and helping people and spreading like a good message to the world, which is why I'm recording YouTube videos in a different way and I'm talking about different things and whatever. This is my new self-improvement season. I would call these more so mini seasons, and this one, and this one all like big seasons. Life happens in seasons. And right now, what most young guys specifically care about when they first start out is, and it's usually one of 3 things, but most people, like step 0 is mental health. So we'll even write this down so you can screenshot it or whatever. Steps here. Step 0, mental health. There. What most people normally start with is one of 2 things. They either make money, or they get jacked, or they focus on getting jacked. That's normally where 2 people focus. Normally they do this one and then they do this one, or they'll do this one and then do like a third thing or whatever. But this is normally the 2 buckets people fall into. I need you to understand that from my experience of doing this for the last 5 years, I personally have not really, I have, but it hasn't been like super exponential progress. I haven't really personally made awesome progress in one area while doing everything at the same time. And these mini seasons, I'll be able to progress in like the main things. Like, okay, so wrestling, my mental health went up because I had a higher level of purpose. Like, my fitness went up because I was required for wrestling. Calisthenics, my fitness obviously went up. Making money, kind of the rest of my life went down. I wasn't socializing as much. Like, I felt kind of purposeless. My fitness went down. My mental health went down a lot. I wasn't sleeping. So this one might have been like the hardest period, like health wise, but I could still progress in other things. Like, I got better at sales, which is in part communication. So my potential for making friends was higher because I knew how to communicate better. Like, you see where the nuance comes in a little bit. Making money and then getting jacked. You can do both, but what most people are going to do is pick one. And what the messages that I'm trying to send to you is that if let's say you're trying to make money, let's say that's your main priority right now, and you're trying to make money. What progress looks like right now is like this. So this is time, and this is progress. Or, sorry, I did this backwards. Or, no, I didn't actually. This is progress. What it might feel like is you're flatlining, because you're only measuring in the course of 1 week, 1 day, one whatever. And the reason for this is it's not your fault. Most people in this scenario are either young guys or they haven't had tons of seasons like this, where they're like, yeah, I'm going to dedicate 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years to something. This is what it might feel like, is that you're not making progress. Time is going by and nothing's happening. You're not going upwards. But this is only over the course of a week. What happens if we zoom out and we look at 52 weeks? So this is over the course of 52 weeks. This is the amount of progress you make. And this is time. What you'll notice is, over the course of a year, you actually go up a considerable amount. Neat. You got better. That's great. Most people don't have the correct time horizon. Most people think it's going to happen in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or they're going to make significant progress. The thing is, most people measure, and this is just my experience, most people measure their business success in the early days. And I can only speak for early days. I can only speak for your first $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever. They measure it by money. How much money have I made? Which is wrong. They should measure it by the skill set that they're building, because the skill set is the thing that allows you to make money. The reason is that you don't have $1 million is because you don't know how to make $1 million. And who would have thought? Shut the fuck up. The reason you don't have $1 million is because you don't know how to make $1 million, because you don't have the skill set of someone who can achieve that. Because somebody who's made $1 million once might not be able to make $1 million again and again and again in multiple different business models, but they can make a couple thousand, they can make a couple 10,000, they can make a couple 100,000 maybe, because the skills transfer. So let's say I'm a fitness coach and I want to teach other fitness coaches how to make money doing fitness coaching. I'm a fitness coach. Let's say I was making 10 grand. Let's say I was making 50, 100 grand a month is normally where people make the leap. I'm making 100 grand a month doing fitness coaching. I sell a program and I have coaching clients and I have all these people inside of a community and then a group coaching program. I have all of the different layers. 100 grand a month. With my skill set, starting my fitness coaching program to where I teach fitness coaches how to make money, I may, take a pay cut to $5,000 a month. You might say, oh, well, because we're measuring based off money, that's worse. I suck now. No, because the ceiling is much higher for teaching people how to make money with fitness coaching. And over the course of months, when my skill set goes up, I'll go to 10K and then I'll go to 50K. And then, oh boy, after a couple of months or a year or whatever, I don't know what the time length is. I've never seen this much money in my life. I might make 100K. Now I'm at the same point. And you might say, oh, you wasted 2 years to be at the same point. But no, I have a new potential. Now I'm able to make 200K when 100K was my max before. Now I'm actually able to make progress. Now I'm actually able to do the things and make the results that it is that I want. That's awesome. And I'm able to do that because my skill set transferred over. So the early days of making money, don't focus on making money, focus on building skills. Where was I? So that's the money category done. I think we're going to go into progressive overloading in a little bit, but I want to speak more about this for just building muscle. When trying to build muscle, don't look at the things that take a long time to see if you haven't been doing it for a long time, because you don't know what you're trying to experience. You think that, okay, I look like this now, and I'm going to look like this later, slightly wider fucking triangle or whatever. You don't know what that process looks like. This is a dumb comparison for you to make. What you could do is each session go, okay, I did 5 pounds last time. Let me do 10 pounds on curls, for example. Or let me try and do 5 pounds for 10 reps, or let me do 5 pounds for 10 reps instead of 8. You progress here because this you can see every session. This is something you can see instantly. With the business example, you can see your skill set improving in live time. When you take more sales calls, you'll see yourself getting better at speaking. You'll see yourself become less anxious. When you're making content, you'll see the views go up or the retention go up or the click-through rate go up. Or you'll see more opt-ins per piece of content, whatever. Your CTAs get better, your hooks get better, whatever. You improve over time. Don't just look at, I made money. Look at all of the stuff that leads to me making money is getting better. The skill set in order to get there is getting better. Same thing with the physique. Don't just look at your fucking physique, you dumbass. You're not there yet. You don't know what the changes look like. You don't know what it's like to go from 90 pounds to 100 pounds to 110 pounds to 120 to 130, 140. Because for me, I can see drastic change between my physique, and if you want, I can show you what I look like now, or like maybe even a different picture. Here, perfect. I already have the comparison. Look at this. We're going to make this smaller. Look at this. You won't see this transformation because this took me this is a 3-year gap. My beginning pictures looked even worse. This is me now. You won't see this transformation. It's impossible for you. And the reason is you haven't done it long enough. It's impossible to think what the next 20 years may look like if you're 12 years old. It's impossible, or it is possible for you to know what the next 20 years may look like if you're 40 or 50 or 60, because you're more matured. You've lived longer. It's a smaller percentage of your life. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. So look at the things that you can see immediately. Look at money. Look at your skill set. Look at what's improving. Look at the speed at which you do things for getting jacked and being in shape. Look at your strength. Look at your consistency levels. Look at the like adaptations you're making to the workout, as doing 10 sets would cook your ass, and now doing 10 sets with the same amount of volume, same amount of intensity, same reps, whatever, with heavier weight. Now you feel a little bit more comfortable because your work capacity went up. Now look at your confidence while going to the gym. Now you're able, before you were scared to like do the exercise because you felt like you were doing shit. Now your form looks good. So now you're confident in actually doing the exercise. You're more focused on actually doing it versus being nervous that people are looking at you and judging you and you look dumb because you did. That's the difference. So I really, really, really want you to understand is that you should look at the things you can see now. If you're in one of your early seasons, especially, look at what the things you can see now. Look at the improvements that you can see now, because when you look at the long-term result, when you've never seen a long-term result with the thing you're trying to build, then you're not going to make progress. You only make progress if you enjoy the thing that you're doing, or at least you're progress at the max. And the easiest way to enjoy something is to see the progress immediately. One of the most fun things you can do is see yourself getting better. For example, like I talked about a big socializing period. How do you quantify what it means to be better at socializing? What, you make people laugh more? No, how I quantified it was I was going to talk to 10 to 30 new people every day, and I did that for over a year, and I talked to between like 3.5 and like 9,000 people. Most people, by the way, talk to around 5,000 people in 10 years. I did that in a year. I did probably more than that in a year. And the lesson that I'm trying to give you with saying that is that I'm able to say that this was the outcome. If my outcome was just, talk to more people in 1 year than the average person does in 10 years, I wouldn't be able to do that because I'd have to wait for a year when I've never done anything for a year in my entire life up to this point other than play volleyball. And that was only for 2 years. And at this point, I was only playing for like a year and a half. I've never done anything for a year. So what I had to do was modify my expectations. I need to look at a more day-to-day level. I need to think, what can I do every single day that I can show myself and I can go, okay, I'm progressing in this thing. Okay, I'm getting better. Okay, I'm improving. And that's what I had come up with, is that I'm going to talk to 10 to 30 people every single day. I'm going to do that for a year. And only at the end, I realized, oh shit, most people talk to only 5,000 people in 10 years. I did that 10 times faster, and I probably did more than the average person did. That's awesome. How do you quantify God and purpose? Well, I can do my Bible study and I can pray and I can set time aside to be in solitude every single day, which I like better. Purpose can be, okay, I'm journaling about what it is that I need to do. And based on what it is that I need to do, okay, I need to help the world. I need to set an example for people. Okay, I can record YouTube videos. I can do that. I'm fulfilling my purpose. It's not just these blanket statements of, oh, I want to hit 10K a month. I'm going to make so much money. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what that looks like. You have goal-based retardation, which is fine, but understand what it is. You saying, "Oh, I'm gonna make 10K, 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 10K," that won't work because you don't know what that looks like. You hear people online saying, "Oh yeah, I can make that in 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Just buy my course, buy my system, bro." You don't have the skill set. Because the thing is, they have the skill set, which takes the longest. And they did that and they're saying they can do that in 6 months. This is their time frame. Just to make it more clear. You, in order to build up the basic skill sets of sales, getting leads, client retention through delivery. These things each might take 6 months for you to even be able to get any meaningful result. Because the thing is, I've noticed it doesn't go linearly. It goes quick exponential, then huge plateau. Quick exponential, huge plateau. It's like ladders up. And the thing is, it takes time to do this. This person might be able to make 10 grand in 6 months per month in just 6 months, whatever, but you can't do that. When people say, oh yeah, I could put on 10 pounds of muscle in 90 days using my hard gainer system. By the way, this was my business model. This is literally my product, was gain 10 pounds in 90 days, and I would help you do that. And it's coaching, so it's a little bit different. I don't sell this anymore, so I have no reason to defend it other than like that's what I did in the past, and I might want to make myself feel better. But genuinely listen to the words I'm saying. I can help you gain 10 pounds of mostly lean mass in 90 days through my hard gainer system. And I can go, oh, I'll sell you my course in order to do it faster. But no. Yes, you might do it faster if you have the information, whatever, but you still have to build up the skills. We can be playing table tennis, and I can show you how to do a front hand and a backhand and how to add side spin to the ball and which racket to buy, and that'll accelerate your progress, but you still have to do the fucking reps. You still have to do the thing. So it's not going to take you 6 months to be a world champion tennis player if you have all the knowledge of a world champion tennis player. It's going to take you years. Because even though you have the knowledge, if it would have taken you 10 years before, it might take you 5 now because you have the knowledge, but it's still going to take 5 fucking years for you to do the thing. So what can you do in the day-to-day? How can you progress now instead of just looking at the result? Because most people say, oh, I'll just make more money. No. Money is a result. Oh, I'll track how I'm doing based on money. No. Maybe when you're a bit more advanced and you have the skill sets and whatever. But in the beginning, you don't track based on money because making a sale is like a goal. It's not just like a part of the business. Like a big business like Amazon, or even people who are making like 5-10 grand a month, like getting sales is part of their business. That's like an aspect of it. When you're making your first dollars online, motherfucker, you're not making sales each month. You're lucky if you get like a couple of calls a month in the beginning because you suck. And that's not me saying you suck to demean you. That's me saying you suck because you don't have the skill set, which is accurate. Which is why you're trying to get better. The thing is, most people don't realize they get into this cycle. They get into what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is they'll learn a little bit and their confidence will be at an all-time high. I'm going to make 10 grand a month in 6 months. No, you're not. Because your confidence is going up because you have a bit of knowledge. You think that you know things when you don't. Your confidence up only when you realize you need to level up your skill set. And maybe you've been feeling this through this video, like yourself going down a little bit, feeling like, oh shit. I don't know, like feeling that helpless, kind of like anxious type of feeling, which is okay. It's natural. That's how you're supposed to feel right now. what you might realize is that your confidence is going down, but you just learned. You're watching this, you're learning, you're understanding this is how the process works. This is much you what get. I wrote this down before I even made these examples because I knew I would touch here. Your knowledge is going up. Your confidence is down, but these two have nothing to do with each other. Realistically, you could go like this, you could be here. It doesn't matter. You can have all of the confidence in the world and have no knowledge. Or you could have all of the knowledge in the world and have no confidence. Well, that's high. And have no confidence. But the thing is, this is how the graph normally goes based on like science and research. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You can look it up. I'm telling you, this is absolutely essential for you to understand. And it's so upsetting to see people who genuinely like want something and crave something, but they sell themselves short by setting a timeline that just won't happen. And then they feel bad about themselves, and then they give up, and then they stop, or they think that they're doing something wrong, and then they try harder, and then they burn out, and then they sleep less, so their quality of life is worse, and then they just want to kill themselves after 4 months of making barely any progress. And they're not wanting to wake up in the morning, and they don't want to be alive just because they had their expectations wrong because somebody else told them that they needed to have a different expectation. No, that's not the mindset that you should have. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to give aggressive, unrelenting effort every single day and feel like a piece of shit because you're not progressing. But I promise you, as long as you progress in something each week, each day, whatever, I promise you, if you're constantly obsessing and thinking about how can I get better, how can I make this higher quality without changing meaningless shit, by actually making it better, not just changing stuff for the sake of thinking that you're progressing, I promise you, you will get better. And that's where the idea of progressive microloading comes in. So this is like a gym example for this is a real life example for like gym terms. In fitness, there's this thing called progressive overload. So essentially, time, progress, each session, you want to progress a little bit. That's it. That's the whole idea, is you want to get better over time. So here you're lifting 5 pounds. Over the course of a couple months, you're lifting 25 pounds, whatever. At each session, you add 5 pounds. Each session, you add like a rep. You do the same way easy or whatever. It doesn't matter. Here, you can progress in anything. If I'm doing dishes and I want to get dishes done faster, I'll try and increase the speed of which I do dishes. I'm not going to do dishes harder, but I will do them faster. If I'm trying to, let's say I have a super busy schedule and I'm studying for my ASVAB. So right now I'm trying to go into the Marines. Actually, this is a real story of me. I'm trying to get into the Marines. I'm studying for my ASVAB basically every single day. I give myself like a 3-ish hour block to study for my ASVAB, and then I have a bunch of other stuff that I need to get done. I'm not going to do that faster because I have 3 hours per day to work on my ASVAB. That's it. I'm not really going to study harder. Like, yeah, I can put my phone away and I can like maybe play some certain like specific frequency sound in the background, but I want to mimic the conditions. I'm going to have I might have my notifications on because that's literally what I heard while I was taking the practice ASVAB when I went in. Like, people had their notifications on and it was really annoying. I might have my notifications on. My desk might be a little bit cluttered because that's the desk that I took the ASVAB at. The practice one, it was in an office somewhere and they stuck me at like somebody's workstation and I did it. So I'm going to keep my environment specific. All right, so I'm not really going to make like the study environment more intense because that's not really as specific. Time, I don't really have much more time, and honestly I really don't want to study more time, but I can make it more quality by improving my AI prompts to help me study, by adding a scoring system based on what my like strengths and weaknesses are. So there's like arithmetic reasoning, there's word comprehension, there's word understanding, there's mechanical knowledge. I can score myself on each individual thing, make a custom prompt, put that into ChatGPT and have it score me based off my weaknesses and make the strengths harder. So when I do go to the actual ASVAB, if though my actual strengths feel so easy and my actual things that I'm not good at will be on level, or over time they get harder for me because I'm progressing in them. So in a couple of months, it's going to be way harder than the test, and I'm going to score 92, 95, 100 percentile, that I'm going to have the best ASVAB score known to mankind. I might max it out, 99th percentile. Maybe I can up my focus. Yeah, it's a bit, my desk is a bit cluttered. I have a bit things on there, whatever. I hear cars outside, but maybe I can snap back to work faster. I can lock in better. I can easily come back and think, okay, I understand what is happening. I know that, yeah, there was a car outside, but I'm just going to lock in. And there's so many things you can do. Think of how you can get better every single day in every single situation. I promise you, you will get better. When it comes to simple shit like exercise, I can't really build more muscle because I'm already doing the optimal split or whatever. And yeah, I could be eating better, but I kind of like my diet, and I can't really afford to spend extra money on the supplement that's going to boost my exercise by like 0.02%. Also, like, I don't really know any good companies because like certain protein powders and certain creatines have like microplastics in them. And I don't know if like the benefit from those is going to outweigh like the added microplastics or whatever. Okay. Do your wrists hurt sometimes? Maybe add like a bit of stretching like periodically throughout the day, or get like a light dumbbell and do some blood flow stuff for like 50, 100 reps. Get a pump so the joint has blood flowing through it and it gets more oxygen so it can recover faster. And then maybe at the end of your sessions, add like some specific wrist training because you're going to be doing that anyway. Maybe instead of doing a forearm curl that's behind your back or in front of you or underneath you like this, maybe you go off the bench with a dumbbell because that puts pressure on your joint, which is your weak point, and then you can curl your wrist in. You make it more specific. So it still gives you progress in your muscle building, but it also makes you progress in your injury. I just got better by changing basically nothing. I just made a slight modification to what I was already doing. And there's thousands of ways you can do this. That's all that I wanted to leave you with, because I want you to understand that shit's hard and that it takes longer than you think. But if you just keep trying, I promise you, someone who's been doing this for 5 years, about to go on to 6, who's done some pretty exceptional things in a very short period of time at a very young age, who's matured much faster than his peers, I'm telling you, dude, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. I'm joking. Well, not really. But anyways, I need you to understand it's going to take longer. It's going to be harder. But it's going to be hard in much more different ways than you think it's going to be. The hard part isn't going to be the waking up early and the grueling nights and the sweat in the gym. The hard part isn't going to be that. It's going to be, you have a girlfriend who wants to hang out with you. You have to go train. You have to manage to make her understand that, no, I'm just focusing myself and it's actually because I love you, versus, no, I just want to be away from you, because some girls will take it as that, and that doesn't mean they're bad. That's just how some people are. It's going to be your friends and your family want you to come to a birthday party and you're preparing for a big sports competition and you're not able to eat the cake that's there. You have to go, I'd love to, but I have other things. It's, you get invited to a party or whatever and you're drinking, or your friends want you to drink and stay out late, but you have something to do that's very important the next day. You have to say no. That's the hard bit. It's not fucking, oh, the bench press 8 to 10 reps. Oh, failure. Oh, my chest, I'm sore. No. So yeah, subscribe for more. Bye-bye.